for neobanks, for example, it's important to be exactly in the channel where new generations, which are their potential clients, are. And not being there means that you're already losing part of the pie, right?
My guest is Emily. Emily is the co-founder and CEO of the company called Frogget. Now, hi Emily, very nice to have you here today and have this chat about you and the company. Please introduce yourself and the company and tell us what you guys do.
Hi, Pete. So a pleasure from my side to be here with you sharing. Yeah, so who is Emily and what is Frogget? So Frogget is an omnichannel communication platform that works in both ways. So allows companies to communicate one-to-one and one-to-many. And as you were mentioning, I'm one of the co-founders. So together with Angel and Juanjo, we founded Frogget back in 2019, very much aiming to provide companies with that core system. So we were very much in the wave of SaaS growing and moving around. So we were much finding which was that core that companies were needing. Of course, communication was like very much into the essence of what they need to handle.
Awesome. Very cool. I've got, obviously we had a conversation before. I've got some understanding of what you do and I've shared with you, I've had experience in dealing with similar software. But allow us to visualize a little bit more. So what do you mean by omni-channel communication? So is it if a customer wants to message through WhatsApp or Instagram, Facebook, text message or email, and then the customer service, instead of going to those particular tools in a completely separate in a different way, they see it in one inbox, right? And regardless of how the client decided to communicate with the company, they can have they manage it through one inbox. Is that a correct assumption?
Is that very much the correct assumption? So we provide with one single inbox, omnichannel inbox, which allows companies to communicate through whatever the channel is. And of course, to keep the track or to track all those communications, all that information regarding the communications with clients, forever. So that's very much how we work. And
Really cool.
We offer. We always like to say that, at the end, companies need to have that communication stack together with their CRM or their basic stack. And so communication works very, very together, or very close to CRMs and to that basic.
Yeah, it is very cool, especially if I see it from a customer point of view, right? I hate when companies force me to call. I haven't got time to wait in some queues, right? And having a chat and spelling my surname to start with, right? This is challenging for me. I love when it's like, oh, I can do WhatsApp, or I can do just something that's just frictionless from my side, and then you solve it from on the other side. Right? You can reply in a different form if you wish, but let me just contact you in the form that I like to reach out to. Fantastic. Now, who uses those as a businesses? Who uses your services mainly? Who do you think is benefiting from offering different forms of communication the most?
That's a good question, Pete, because in fact, I think every business needs this kind of handling communications. It is true that we've moved from an initial phase where we were focusing very much more in the mid-market. We have to say that we are still there, but as we move along, it is true that we have more bigger clients and bigger enterprises that are very much conscious of, handling correctly these conversations and these communications. But we always like to say that we believe very much in technology that provides humans with superpowers. So we also believe that this is something for everyone. So even though we started in the mid-market and we moved up, we still have many clients in that sector. So I would say that everyone has to handle. Today we have to be everywhere, and we start a conversation, let's say in a chat, and then we move to WhatsApp, then we send something on email. So having the tracking of all those conversations, just being a person treated as a person, and with all that information as a back is really important. So
absolutely. I absolutely can see this, how you just deliver better customer service just by offering those, right? But the amount of also the time that you save from not even replying, you're not saving probably as much time there, but maybe switching between platforms and checking, maybe updating CRM manually, right? And saying on the WhatsApp, the client said this, and on email, we have this information. So I take it that time saving and that task and app switching time saved there, it could be great. Are your customers mostly B2B or B2C as what their offer is?
So it is true that our clients tend to be very much B2C, since it's where they have the most of the conversations and the amount of them are really big. So keeping that track, as you mentioned, is what really helps them save money, save energy, and provide with a better service. So yeah, so basically we move very much in the bank sector, so fintech, bank, travel as well. We also are very active in education, even though we have other clients in other sectors, because as I mentioned, handling the communication is something transversal. But yeah, very active in those.
Yeah, I would have thought so. That's actually for B2C offering them. We've discussed that first time when we had the conversation when I met you, that I was talking with one of the private education sector companies, and they forced teenagers to call them. And I was asking them why. Like, they don't communicate like this, right? Offer them WhatsApp and then you solve it on the other end. Are you seeing shifts in how customers want to communicate in recent years, maybe post-COVID? Do you see anything shift towards any particular platform recently?
Oh yeah, for sure. And this is something that is happening, and the more we move on, the faster these changes happen. So it is very important for companies to be exactly in the channels their customers or their potential customers are. So yeah, today, for example, WhatsApp is like the king of the channels. But I believe that this would eventually change in the near future. So we are really, we are always there exploring and being the first in incorporating those new channels. And for example, it's funny because I had a conversation yesterday exactly about this. So for neobanks, for example, it's important to be exactly in the channel where new generations, which are their potential clients, are. And not being there means that you're already losing part of the pie, right? So yeah. So this is something that changes and changes fast. So being in all those channels is, I think, extremely important.
Yeah,
So,
100% agree. The banks have got maybe the advantage. They very often operate on the app and they try to build in a system within the app. But obviously that everyone needs to really focus on this. Because interestingly, my experience in the B2C as well, sometimes it's not how quickly you resolve the case, but how quickly you're going to acknowledge this and reply in the channel that someone wanted to contact you very quickly, angry, something went wrong, and they just WhatsApped you. And if they had a reply under control, we'll solve it by the end of today. It is giving completely different experience to them, right? Than you dropped an email and you're waiting 3 days and there was no reply. Fantastic. Now, talk me through the beginnings, right? How did you come up with this offer, and how did you all start it? How did you manage to find that product market fit? What happened, or maybe some personal experience or your professional experience that made you look into founding the company and offering this solution to companies?
So the story when Angel Juanjo and myself met was a nice story, and it had a very nice beginning. It was quite different to what we are today. And as I was mentioning at the beginning, we were trying to solve some of the core problems that SaaS and other companies may have in a moment where SaaS were booming. And I have to say that at first we were a bit more transversal. So we were very much focused in customer service and customer experience, which we still are, but having focused more our efforts more in the communication area. And at the very end, if you see, or if you look at that, if you observe, it is true that when I say communication, again, this is quite transversal because it can apply to support centers or support teams, but it can go to sales teams, marketing teams. So it is true. But what we discover on the way, and this was something very organic, something that we have kept always in mind, which is that you should be listening to the market and not to fall in love with yourself, with your product, which is something that sometimes SaaS tend to do, or our product tend to tend to do. And this is how we arrive to, to focus in all our efforts in helping companies to, as you mentioned, having that track. So whenever you're capable of tracking and having all the information gathered, it will allow you to not only provide your clients and your potential users with a better information, but also being able to, to handle and to provide with a better service. So so that has been very much the way.
Amazing. I love this story. And I love the fact that you actually focused on what does market need? What do those companies need that we can deliver, rather than coming up, and I hear those stories all the time, coming up with a product and then going to the market, right? With
Exactly.
a product that's just been overdeveloped and spent way too much time and money, right? And then it's like,
talking of that, Pete, in fact, it was very funny when we first launched it and it was very much in the middle of COVID. And something we were looking for was to receive feedback from people who were very far from us. So that's why we decided to explore the possibility of launching in Product Hunt and then AppSumo, which, as you know, are these platforms that allow, they have thousands of users and they are real users, which are happy to provide with real feedback, in a very global way. So it was a great experience for us. So this is how we first launched, and it was exciting at the same time as exigent with the team when we launched. But it was great because it was already providing us with that guidance on the way, and to feel how the market was sensing what the solution we're now launching and providing.
awesome.
So having
Awesome.
that sense of listening to the market at all times, I think is very important and is something you never should lose, right?
Absolutely. It's a great motto to have and really skill to have, to really say, no, it's not what I want, not what I can do. What does market need right now? Can I deliver this, right? Or can I help them with solving that particular problem?
Yeah, and not only that, Pete, but sometimes you provide with a solution which on your eyes seems to be a very robust solution, and suddenly you realize that clients are using only a part of it. So only a part of that solution is really providing them with the value. Well, the rest of that solution maybe is I'm not going to say useless, but it's kind of. So you have to focus energy and realize that that part of it that really provides and covers the expectations they had is where you should be focusing energies and resources. So that's a good sense, or that's a good
Absolutely. So you went straight to the market, right? With launching, it's not that you had a network of someone that you could just approach and let them be your first clients. You went straight to the market, and that's how you found your first clients.
The thing is that we were born in an incubator. So it's true that we had a group of other companies that were potential clients of ours, potential users. So we're searching for that feedback first, but we really wanted to have very external feedback that was coming from people from a big distance. From where we were. And this was a bit of the motivator that brought us to, AppSumo, Product Hunt. So I think a mix of both. I think you should be searching and having that information, of course, in your close area. And that's where we all start. But then being able to move and expose yourself to other areas. And I have to say that, both AppSumo and Product Hunt are spaces where people are expecting to see new launches in the market. So they're not expecting super robust whatever. So I think it's a great, for us, it was a great,
Amazing. Yeah, and the people, obviously, we've used many apps there, right? We early adopters of some things. We've got no problems with testing and trying, and we do have, we forgive some mistakes with it because it's in development, it's at very early stages. But then we can be very early adopters, which allows us to be a little bit better at a particular thing, right? Absolutely fantastic story. Now, what's working right now, right? Are you still finding majority of clients through platforms like this, or you developed a completely different sales strategy for yourselves, guys? What's working right now for yourselves?
So Yeah, so talking of our go-to-market strategy, it has changed along the years as well. And as I mentioned, since we started more in the mid-market, our strategy was more, inbound, even outbound. We were practicing it a lot, so we had a strong outbound strategy. What works for us better today is more partners. So we are working very strongly in having just a few selected good partners. Some of them are more techy, so it's tech partners, which are solutions, particular solutions for industries, where we provide the communication stack. And then also we have commercial partners in some regions, which allows us to not only to get to the clients we're aiming, but also to provide local service in their local time zone. And that is something that is really working well for us. So it's true that our go-to-market strategy has changed very much, and is so we're nailing it in every step of the way. So very much that. And so I would say that today is partners and a bit of outbound. And of course, inbound is something we always have to be there. People have to get to, our site or our blog and see what is happening and what is going on. But I would say that our strategy has moved to those channels, especially.
Yeah, love the strategy. Very good. Obviously, partnering up with companies that are interested in implementing that for their clients and really bringing solutions. So they bring a fantastic product, and they know I'm not as much involved into actually developing that from scratch. They just use you as a platform that's already built for this, right?
Exactly.
Fantastic. Okay. And do you have your own sales strategy, sales team that goes after? Is that the outbound what you meant? Is you going after very particular type of clients, companies, or people within those companies? And you try to educate them a little bit more what it could mean. Do you do anything internally as well like this?
So yes, we have what we call the revenue team. It covers all the way. So we have people covering from the beginning, so getting to those potential clients, but also helping those. So we like very much the idea of talking about revenue. And yes, so the strategy is approaching is very much an ABM strategy. So it's getting to the photos or the events where our potential clients could be, getting in touch with associations, for example, let's say factoring association or others that may lead us to to touch our potential clients. And that's very much the way we used to get close. And then of course it's very much more again, this has evolved over the years, and we are becoming more and more. We have like an outbound approach, which is very much consulting, or I don't know how you say that in English, but it's kind of consultative kind of selling. So yes, becoming a bit an expert, helping them to find the solutions, how to approach campaigns, and at the same time being able to respond and to have this one-to-one conversation with your potential client in real time. So very much
great.
that. And then it's important for us because outbound is something that we also do with partners. So we follow also, we create a potential pipeline of partners. So working with them and training them once we get them on board is something that we are currently working.
Amazing. Good. Some great strategies. I love the way of educating, helping your prospects in your sales process. Right. Say, hey, I can give you consultation. I can tell you what's needed. I can share all my experiences from us, from our clients. Right. Absolutely free of charge, just to build that relationship. Show yourself as a specialist in the matter, and really trying to help them. And obviously, this always works great for complex products like this and solutions. You want to spend some time and really help your prospects in the first place. Yeah.
And at the very end, normally problems are like quite similar. So once you have gone through those problems with one of your clients, is an expertise you have and that you can provide to others. So it's very much linked there. So yeah.
And from my experience, companies like yours, you're going to know even more problems that are now than those people. People don't see sometimes their operations as a problem. And they will go, we had a partner, and he had a very similar case study. And it was one of the company had pickup tickets pickup, like days, many days, 2 weeks, right? But they never thought it was a problem because that's their standard, that's the norm, right? And you say, this is a big problem. If you're just going to fix that, your customer satisfaction will triple, like instantly overnight, just because you've picked up that ticket today rather than leaving that for next week, right? That could be automated and that, right? They were not aware of this. So you're going to know more about, because you've seen many cases about solutions, then you're going to actually present them with, this is your problem, right? For
Yeah, it's like
example,
showing them
churn.
a mirror where they can see where they are.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if they don't see where they are.
Yeah. We'll say, hey, we're resolving all the tickets. Our big problem is churn. I can tell you, you can improve the retention by just providing quicker response and maybe even adding a couple more channels, right? You're dealing with teenagers, the example I gave earlier. You're dealing with teenagers, you want them to use communication methods from pre-COVID, let's say, from 20 years ago, right? The phone call. And they want to have just quick WhatsApp rather than a phone number that they need to call and wait and speak to someone, right? Fantastic. Really, really good. Now, and next 12 months, is it something in your strategy? I love the fact that I actually noticed that you said you've tried quite a lot of things, moving that strategy, it's constantly evolving. Is that something that you're planning to do for the next 12 months? Because this is, I find, always the best approach. You need to keep testing, trying new things. The way of selling, prospecting, getting attention is changing every year. COVID's changed everything, right? Last couple of years changed even more because now attention is the biggest currency, right? It's not how good your product is. And if you have a chance to jump on a call with someone in an hour and show them how you can support them and what that could change, fantastic, everyone can. It's how am I going to get that first call in the first place, right? This is becoming more and more difficult because everyone is bombarded with solutions, tools, and services and promises that we can fix this for you and that for you. So is there in this strategy for your next 12 months something completely new that you're going to try or some big challenge that you want to resolve in the next 12 months?
So it is true, exactly what you mentioned. So we're at all times trying new things and nailing down the strategy and getting there. So something I would point, we would love to go further into this partner channel, but something that we want to explore more and more is AI also dedicated to, more to sales. And something that we are implementing in most of the areas in the company. And this is something that we would love to explore. And as we approach, as I was mentioning, that we are going towards bigger companies and the approach is more personal, it's true that AI can also help very much at the time of, creating that approach, even creating those cadences, which is something that, by the way, and this is a spoiler, we are also implementing within Frogit. So, so that's something that is going to help us inside in our go-to-market strategy. But I'm sure it's going to help also other companies that may be using our services. So yeah. And I would, yeah.
Yeah, so you mean that you looking into AI and really implementing that for your new business acquisition, but equally for your partners and clients, how can you support with those tickets? 80% of tickets could be resolved probably with AI, right? Very quickly. I wanted to change the address on my shipping for the thing that I just ordered. No human needed anymore, right? For this, if you're connected to your shipping software, that's
it's
all
correct. It's correct. Yeah. Not only answering but also filtering. How to create the priorities in the companies you're going to approach, which is the best moment to approach them, how to approach them. So there are like many ways where you can use AI, and I think mastering the usage of AI in your favor will provide you with. I remember Juanjo, my co-founder, he always says that, at the end, AI is like using a Ferrari. So if you have the knowledge and you know how to use it, it really goes in your favor. So training very much, not only the team, but, the system to use in your favor can make you really a champion in what you're doing. So, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
But it's true that AI is so big that we always talk of AI, but, AI is like, it can be applied in many different ways. So making it
absolutely
in a sense that really enhances your strategy is like Yeah, it's like the
I don't.
ultimate goal
Honestly, we could have conversation about
on
AI
this
and how
about
you should
this.
be
Yeah, yeah.
applied for hours, right? Because I absolutely love this. I was actually buying something on one of huge retailers here in the UK, and I was just thinking, why in chat, the little thing, if I'm going to buy this, and I cannot ask you, for something. I don't remember what I was asking. So like that could be done with AI, right? If I'm going to say, is there some lamps that in the same color? AI could literally present me, oh, is that in that yellow that you got, right? And give me those answers. All it takes is teaching AI with the catalog, right? And essentially that's it. And you can have like a really shopping assistant, and literally they'll triple that order value that I was placing. But I
Exactly.
couldn't find it, and
Exactly.
obviously that was those things. So I know there is a huge
Yeah.
potential. Now, how are you looking into implementing AI for your business acquisition? Is that something that you're already thinking of doing this year? Or is this something maybe you already started?
In fact, we are starting it, but it's very much, as I mentioned, like filtering correctly, and which could be like the best way to approach those clients. So I think that could be. So I'm super open to listen about ideas. How we're doing it is very much at the time of filtering and at the time of approaching and these potential clients. So yeah, it helps
Awesome.
very much at the time of creating also resources like videos specifically for them or dossiers. So I think there is a huge usage for of AI in acquisition. But I'm super happy and super open to to listen to ideas. I'm really always observing what others do. So
Yeah, I can
so
tell.
yeah, to implement that
I
in
can
our
tell
house.
because yeah, that's how you research the product in the first place. You just listen to what those prospects talk about. What is their problem? Can I help them solve this, right? And the fact how your sales strategy completely changed in the last 4 years. A lot of companies stay with the same sales process for 30. In 4 years, you probably had more than a lot of companies that have been around for decades. Right? Absolutely amazing. And who are those people that you're targeting this year, right? Is it like e-com? You're going to SaaS? You're going to someone that's got big volume? Is there something that you try to segment them? Is there a couple niches that you're really going after this year, or you keep it open? Whoever's got loads of clients, it's good enough for you.
So as I mentioned, our efforts are very much focused now in the fintech and banking sector. LATAM is very much our area, Europe as well, but yes, and then travel sector as well. So big players in the travel. So I'm talking about airlines. I'm talking about big travel companies, majorists.
Amazing.
So yeah, so our focus are very much there.
Super cool. If someone that listened to our conversation would like to find out more, where could they find a little bit more information about what channels there are available to communicate with clients and how you do this, and maybe a case study? Where could they find you?
So, of course, in our website, so froget.com, they will find a lot of information, but I can leave also my email, which is super easy, emily@froget.com. And yeah, whatever they may need, they can reach us out, and I'm super happy to share with them dossiers or case studies or success cases that we have. So
Amazing.
helping them to, yeah,
Thank you. We'll
whatever.
leave those links below here. So if
Sure.
someone is interested to taking a look how they can bring better customer service by just optimizing more channels and actually making it easier in the back end and for customer service team to really operate those, please go visit the website, check out Emily's LinkedIn, contact her with any questions you
Exactly.
may have. Emily, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you and discovering a little bit more about what you guys do and how it all started, how you approach your business acquisition. Thank you very much for joining me
Thank
today.
you.
Really
Thank you,
appreciate it.
Pete. My pleasure.
Thank you.